Everyone knows Plankton as the guy obsessed with stealing the Krabby Patty formula, but that's not what he really wants. That obsession is just a mask, hiding something darker, something personal. And once you see it, you'll never look at Plankton the same way again. So let's start with the obvious question. If it's not about the formula, then what does Plankton really want? Because if you listen to him closely, it sounds like there's something bigger that he's going for. In episodes like Snowball Effect or King Plankton, Plankton admits that he wants to rule the world.
Drops of rain frozen into ice crystals. I shall harness their energy and rule the world!
And in the SpongeBob movie, he comes close to doing exactly that. But there's something strange. Apart from the movie, he's never acted on his goal. He's never tried to take over the world. Except once. In the episode Perfect Chemistry, Plankton finally starts working on his goal to take over the world.
And with our combined might, we shall conquer the world!
He teams up with Sandy to fix her teleportation device. But once the device is working, he immediately betrays her just to go for the formula. Even when he's trying to take over the world, he always seems to go for the formula first. It's almost like, in Plankton's mind, stealing the formula is the first step before he can do anything else. Once he successfully steals the formula, he can continue his plan to take over the world. Simple, right? Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Here's where things start to get weird. The more you look at Plankton's actions, the less sense they make, unless you realize what he's really chasing. You'd assume that he's never gotten past stealing the formula, and that's why he's never been able to take over the world. But that's actually not true, because in the episode Bottle Burglars, Plankton actually gets the formula. But here's the confusing part, he doesn't do anything with it. Basically, in the episode, Plankton accidentally gets the formula, but for some reason, there's a timer on it, something we've never seen before. Instead of pursuing the next steps of taking over the world, because it was the formula that was holding him back, he decides to wait it out and goes to bed. It's almost like he believes that knowing the formula will finally fill some void, like it's gonna prove something to him. And this weird obsession with the formula being so important continues in the episode Buried in Time. When Mr. Krabs decides to put a copy of the formula in his time capsule, Plankton just has to go get it. Once again, the formula was very much accessible to Plankton, but he has to get it first. The time capsule wasn't going to be dug up for 50 years regardless. The formula was going nowhere, but still, it was the first thing he did. And when you start to look at all these moments together, it's always the same pattern. Plankton has the option to pursue something bigger, something that could help him take over the world, but he keeps dropping it to chase the formula. And this reveals something huge about Plankton and his plan. Stealing the formula isn't part of his plan, it is his plan. Whenever he has the chance to do anything else, he doesn't, almost as if there is nothing else to do besides steal the formula. And if that sounds obsessive, it's because it is. Like in the SpongeBob movie, he takes control of Neptune, the god of the sea. That's where he got his real power from. But trying to steal the formula isn't a step towards gaining power, it's just fueling his obsession. Because at the end of the day, his entire plan is to steal it and look at it. So if it's not really about power, then what is it about? Why does he keep risking everything when it never works? Well, this is where things get personal, because in the episode Free Samples, we finally see what's really driving him. Basically, in the episode, Plankton realizes that he can sell bad food pretending it's from the Krusty Krab and ruin Krabs' reputation. When Krabs realizes what happened, he has to take the time out of his day to give free food around town. But Plankton didn't do this to steal the formula when Krabs was trying to fix his reputation, he did it just to do it. Like out of pure hate. It's a moment that shows us another part of their rivalry, something completely devoid of the formula, something more personal. And this isn't a one-off. In the episode Plankton's Regular, Plankton finally gets a regular customer. It's a great moment for him, something he's never had. But then he sneaks into Krabs' office, not to steal the formula, but to gloat.
I no longer need to copy you, Krabs. I've got my own winning recipe now.
Even when Krabs is busy trying to steal his customer, Plankton doesn't try to steal the formula. He just keeps mocking Krabs every chance he gets. And Krabs holds up his end of the rivalry when he decides to steal Plankton's formula because he can't let Plankton have even one victory. It's not about business anymore, it's about ego. Both of them are so busy one-upping each other that their rivalry matters more than actually running their restaurants. And this tells us something big about Plankton. He doesn't care about the formula, he cares about beating Krabs. And that idea becomes even clearer in the episode Mermaid Man vs. SpongeBob. In the episode, Krabs is making a fortune using Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy for marketing. Plankton isn't a fan, so he decided to take him down. He ends up hypnotizing the superheroes and takes them to the Krusty Krab. But instead of using them and their strength to steal the formula, Plankton takes them on stage and makes them say that the Chum Bucket is better.
Barnacle Boy, it's a Krabby Patty! Why, these things are evil! And furthermore...
Let it be known that I, Mermaid Man, prefer the delicious food available at the Chum Bucket.
your new favorite restaurant!
He didn't want the formula here, he wanted something more powerful: validation. To him, humiliating Krabs and his restaurant in public means more than stealing the recipe ever could. And that's when it becomes clear. The formula isn't the end goal, it's just a tool, something Plankton can use to hurt Krabs. Even when he had access to these ultra-powerful superheroes, he didn't use them to steal the formula, he used them to take down Krabs, publicly. All he wants to do is win, not through success, but through revenge. And no episode captures this better than Band and Bikini Bottom. In the episode, the Krusty Krab is closed down because Krabby Patties become banned in the city. The second Plankton learns about this, he's overjoyed.
My day of reckoning has come at last! I've won, I tell you! I've won!
That moment says everything. Plankton declares victory after Krabs loses his business. That's all he's ever wanted all along, to win, to see Krabs fall. And when he realizes Krabs is secretly selling from SpongeBob's house, he doesn't try to compete. He doesn't go after the formula, he calls the cops. It perfectly displays that Plankton isn't obsessed with the formula, he's obsessed with beating Krabs. Every scheme, every plan, every failure comes back to one goal: revenge. But that raises the question, why? Why does Plankton want to hurt Krabs so badly? To understand that, we have to go all the way back to when it started, their childhood. In the episode Friend or Foe, we finally learn something about their rivalry. Krabs and Plankton didn't start as enemies, but as friends. Together, they looked out for each other and dreamed of one day being like. But this all changed when they went into business together. They both had different ideas and ended up fighting over it, leading to them hating each other. While Krabs' new formula took off, Plankton fell behind and started being hated by everyone. From that point, Krabs' formula became loved and Krabs became rich and successful. Plankton, on the other hand, was a joke. And Plankton never forgot that.
You wanna fight over this recipe? I'll give you a fight you'll never forget!
This line says everything. For Plankton, the formula isn't just a recipe, it's a symbol of betrayal. He helped create it, but Krabs got all the rewards. He doesn't want to steal it, he wants to take it back. In his mind, the formula represents everything Krabs stole from him: success, respect, and friendship. And that's what fuels his revenge. But that's not the entire story, because deep down, it's not just revenge that he wants. It's Krabs' life, the success, the respect, the money. And that's where the episode The Algae's Always Greener comes in. Now this episode is usually seen as the one that proves that Plankton doesn't want Krabs' life. And sure, by the end he's miserable, but it's not because he doesn't like being Krabs. It's because of everything else that comes with it. When Plankton wakes up as Krabs, he's thrilled. He finally has everything he's wanted: money, respect, admiration, and most of all, success. For a while, he's genuinely happy. It's only later when Krabs tries to steal his formula, when Pearl begs for money, when things get chaotic, that Plankton realizes how exhausting Krabs' life can really be. So yes, he didn't enjoy every part of Krabs' life, but the important part, the admiration, the recognition, that feeling of finally winning, that's what he really wants. And that explains everything about him. Plankton doesn't want to ruin Krabs, He wants to replace him. He doesn't want the formula, he wants what the formula represents. He wants Krabs' success, Krabs' respect, Krabs' world. And that's why he always talked about taking over the world, because to him, Krabs is the world he's been trying to conquer his entire life. He doesn't want global domination, he wants to take over Krabs' life. Even when he walks away from it in The Algae's Always Greener, or when his plans collapse in the SpongeBob movie, it always comes right back to the same thing. He can't let go of what Krabs has, because deep down, he believes it should have been his. And that's what makes Plankton such a tragic character. He's not chasing some secret recipe, he's chasing the life he thinks he was cheated out of.